So if we check our mind, those of us who cannot put others before ourselves first. Those of us who cannot put others before ourselves first, this kind of mind arises in many times as symptoms. Symptoms. So those people who have a lot of self-cherishing mind, they have a lot of symptoms. We can't look into people's minds. I cannot look into people's minds. Only an enlightened being can look into our mind clearly, past and present clearly, and the future. Why the future? Because of what we've done in the past, it will bring about the future. So an enlightened being can perceive your future. So therefore, an enlightened being can see the past. Enlightened being can see your present and why your present is so, and can see your future. And the reason is because they have unobstructed omniscience. So for us, we cannot see people's mind. So it's very difficult to tell what's going on in their mind. Similarly, a doctor cannot see a disease, but by symptom and talking about the symptom and observing the symptom, a doctor can see the person's disease. A Dharma practitioner can see the other person's symptoms or their afflictions. Only a few symptoms can arise. Just like diseases, only a few symptoms can arise. But the cause of it can be different. Example, if we have a fever, it can be something very serious such as cancer, tuberculosis, or it can be something light as a cold, or it can be something mediocre such as a flu. But all of those will exhibit a fever. So like that, our elements in our body can only go a certain amount of combinations to create a certain amount of diseases. So the symptoms are very few though, because it's only pain or fever or sharpness or numbness or no feeling or paralysis. There can be only a few symptoms that can lead to hundreds and hundreds of different kinds of diseases. Why? That's the way the body can manifest. So therefore, similarly with the mind, if someone studies what Lord Buddha has taught according to the mind, you become like a doctor for the mind or the doctor of the emotions. And so you can observe people and you can check back with what you've studied according to what Buddha said. And then therefore pretty much gauge what type of mind that person has according to observing their symptoms time and time again. So by observing people's speech, by observing people's body actions, by observing people's, likes and dislikes, you can very much tell by those symptoms what type of mind they have and what level they're at. Some of us know our own mind. Some of us don't know our own mind. Some of us require other people to tell us about our own mind. Some of us is a combination. Sometimes even people we don't like may point out to us the type of mind we have. Whether a person we like or we don't like, or ourselves or someone inside or outside points out something about our mind, then definitely there are some symptoms there. So therefore, if there are symptoms to be observed, and the symptoms are manifest, it's very important not to debate or to argue with yourself or with others whether you are really what your symptoms show that you are. Why? Because when people observe, they can see people with experience, older people, or people who have studied, they can observe, they can tell you, it is not whether you are or you're not, those symptoms are being observed. If the symptoms of a self-cherishing mind is allowed to continue year after year after year, then if someone only cherish themselves, then definitely the unhappiness that arises for themselves and people around them will increase with age and with time. As a human being, since we have the capacity that's higher than an animal, the logic and the perception and also the intelligence that's higher than an animal, then we must, as human beings, always strive to improve our mind. In every society, ancient and new, there's some kind of ritual for leaving when one reaches puberty, or one reaches an age where one becomes an adult. There's always some kind of ceremony or rite from childhood to adulthood. And that's irregardless of religion. Example, in the Chinese system, as far as I understand, People always ask if you're married or not married. And the reason for you to get married is not only to bear children to carry on the name. It's also a sign of one has passed the passage of childhood to adulthood and ready to take responsibility. To repay the kindness back of one's parents instead of taking from one's parents, instead of taking from society, instead of taking from people around you, it's time to give back. It's time to support others. It's time to support people who've been kind to you. It's also time for you to make decisions, for us to control our emotions and control our anger and control our unhappiness and control our jealousies. Why? Because these emotions make us not responsible and mature and create problems. So when in Chinese, when they say married, there's a very deep meaning. The deep meaning is that you are passing the right from childhood to adulthood. Meaning, instead of expecting others to give you, you give. Instead of other people to take care of you, you take care. Instead of other people always to coddle you or to nurture you, you start to nurture. So getting married in a Chinese system is an indirect way of saying, grow up, take responsibility, become mature. Keeping clean, brushing our teeth, wearing clean clothes, keeping our body clean. Those are things that are told to us when we're young. But when we're mature and grown up, if people have to tell us to brush, to clean, to wash, we haven't passed from childhood to adulthood. When we are like that, we embarrass ourselves, we embarrass our parents, we embarrass our friends, we embarrass our husband and wives, we embarrass our partners, we embarrass general people around us. Why do we embarrass? Because it's not a matter of just clean or not clean. It is a symptom that the mind has not grown up or mature. It's a symptom, clear symptom. And certain habits that we have that might be harmful to others and ourselves, if in childhood we have not been told and we have not matured to understand it, and in adulthood people have to tell us, oh, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. If we continuously do it, and we do it again and again and again, to make people around us unhappy, angry, not respect us, and not like us, then this is another symptom that our mind didn't grow up from child to adult. That's just an example in everyday life, for every human being, in every society, every culture. That's just a normal example. That's not anyone who's taking on the religious path. That is just a normal person who wishes to get a job, who wishes to advance in life, who wishes to do better, who wishes to be able to support themselves and have some nice car or nice house or something. Just normal people, ordinary people, not spiritual, should do that. And if they do that, they're able to obtain some comfortable things in this life. Without religion, just normal, human, mature wisdom can teach us how to make our mind better and how to check our symptoms in normal way. So when we enter religion, spiritual practice, we should already be a mature, intelligent adult who has already become grown up, who already the basics of life, cleaning, washing, grooming, talking nice, and not having other people to repeat to us the same thing over and over. Just before we enter religion, we should already have those qualities. Already should have. Why? This is not a religious practice. This is human being practice. Human being. Someone who's entered university, they go to KDU or KBU, they still don't know how to read. And when they go there and people still have to teach them how to read, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, they still don't know how to read. Definitely you think they're not here to learn. And they haven't learned. They're here for another motive, another reason, maybe pass the time, maybe they're bored, maybe their parents have some influence, just get them in there to keep them away. But if they're in college, they cannot read, then what happened? Some more in college, if they don't push themselves to learn how to read, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, they're still the same. Then they're not here in the college to learn. This is a normal life, not religious. Religious practice teaches us things that normal human knowledge and wisdom cannot teach us. 1, religious practice teaches us that in normal human life, when we have the symptoms of a selfish mind, this selfish mind is not religious at all. That's normal human. When we have the symptoms of a selfish mind, and by normal human ways, our parents advise us, our friends advise us, our peers advise us, our school teachers advise us, and still we cannot change ourselves by normal human ways, then we need religious ways to tackle and to attack the selfish mind. And also, after that, higher knowledge that makes our mind even more open that we cannot get in a normal human wisdom, human way, we need religious practice. So when we enter religious practice, it is understood you know how to read like when you enter college. So if you have a very selfish mind, you only think about yourself, you don't care about other people's feeling, you don't care if you hurt other people, you don't care if you irritate other people, you don't care if you actually make people lose respect in you, you don't care if you embarrass yourself and your family and your name and your own surroundings. You don't care that you embarrass. Then the parents or the teacher or our friends would say, hey, if you do that, you're not going to get a good job. Because in job, if you do like that, you cannot get a good job. If you cannot get a good job, you cannot take care of your family. Maybe to you, your family, you don't care. You expect your mother to give you everything. Then some people say, oh, you cannot get a nice car. Then maybe for you, you don't care you have a nice car or not because you don't care. Maybe you cannot get a nice house or something. Or even if you have a husband or you have a wife, you cannot take care of your husband or wife. Still, you don't care because you expect people to take care of you. And so when you have that kind of thinking, and it's very, very strong, and it's very firm, that kind of selfish mind is very, very hard. So by normal means, parents and teachers, by materialistic means to teach you, if you do like that, you cannot get this, you cannot get this, you cannot have that. If that doesn't work, then you need to seek religious help. Why? Religious help goes higher. It doesn't talk about getting a car. It doesn't talk about getting a house. It doesn't talk about getting respect. It talks about higher knowledge that perhaps will motivate us to change ourselves. Why is it higher? Because a lot of us think it's only 67 years I'm alive. I don't care if I have a nice car. I don't care if I take care of my mother and father. That's bad, but we can think like that. Can think, I don't care if people respect me or not. I look clean or not. I don't care. Why? I'm around for 67 years. I do as I like, and I have personal freedom. But the thing is, so if that one doesn't motivate you to transform and change and become better, those are normal methods. So you're not materialistic. You don't respect society. You don't care about your own culture. You don't care about embarrassing yourself and other people. You don't care about that. So that doesn't motivate you to change. Then you go to religion. Religion doesn't talk about these things. Religion talks about much higher knowledge that should motivate you to change. Example, if you're undisciplined, if you're unclean, it teaches you that when you pray, actually the Buddhas come. When the Buddhas come and you're clean and you're presentable, it's an offering to the Buddhas. It's an offering. Why? It's an offering to someone very high. So you have this kind of higher thinking. Instead of mommy and daddy telling you, oh, if your mouth smells, if you're not clean, people don't like you. You say, I don't care about people. But next level is Buddhas, you don't care also. That's one. Second is, if you don't push yourself and become responsible, maybe in a normal way, oh, I don't care about car, I don't care about money, I don't care about this. I don't care. I'm very simple. Okay. But in a religious way, if you don't take responsibility, how can you practice the art of giving or generosity? If you don't practice the art of generosity and giving, how do you expect in this life for you to have the karma to become better, and in your future lives to have the karma to have very good situation? Money, health, to be born in a nice place, to have easy sustenance. How can you have that? So Dharma teaches you a higher motivation to transform yourself that a normal world doesn't. So if in normal world, we're still lazy and smelly and we don't care and we're irresponsible. But when we reach Dharma, it gives you bigger knowledge, a bigger motivation to change. But if you're in Dharma, still you don't change, then there's no higher knowledge to give you. Then the only knowledge left is the result of your own karma coming back to you. And then when you suffer very much, until the karma finish, you cannot do anything anymore. So it becomes a punishment. And for some people, it becomes like that. So when we enter religious practice, my point is this, it is used to transform ourselves. That's why religion, we don't harm others. We don't criticize others. And if we're doing religious practice, irresponsibility, cleanliness, unselfishness should be goals that we try to achieve. Then we're religious. Then we're spiritual. Otherwise, if we're in religion and we don't do that, then we're not here to change. Just like if we don't know how to read in college, we're not in college to learn. Then if we're not in college to learn, if we're not in religion to change, why are we here?